Hello everyone. Today I am going to be reading Star Challenge 4, The Exploding Suns by, it's written by Christopher Black, and I don't think he does the art. Illustrations by Malo Cintron. Right, and this is very similar to a Choose Your Own Adventure. I think there are only 10 of these books made. Similar to Choose Your Own Adventure in that you have some endings that are good and some endings that are bad. But unlike a Choose Your Own Adventure, each ending has its own score. So once you finish the adventure and you get to one of the endings, there's a page that you go to and it tells you like what your score is based on what page you came from. So this was number 4 in the series. And I'll read a little bit of the back. It says, do you have the right stuff to be a space ace? The only out-of-this-world adventure where you rate yourself against a galaxy of villains. Your mission. Suns are disappearing in Space Sector X-7793A. Can you and your robot companion, Tutor, end this mysterious menace? Your challenge. Do you think the missing suns are a cosmic distress signal? Rush to the rescue on page 31. Or are they part of a sinister space trap? Turn carefully to page 88. Your score. Successful missions let you rack up points, but remember, in the year 2525, the name of the game is survival. If you don't play to win, you lose. Yep, so we got Tutor again. All right. So, The Exploding Suns. And there's the art here. I think that's the same art on every issue, every book. Yeah, I usually go through end up losing, and then finally get an ending that where you win, and then I get an ending where I win a bit more. So eventually, by the end of the hour, at least with the last time I did Star Challenge, finally at the very end got to an ending that was actually good. So this was published in 1984. I don't think they ever republished these or reprinted them. So as far as I know, they were I don't think it was like a very super popular series. Everyone knows Choose Your Own Adventure, but no one's ever heard of Star Challenge. I just happened to hear of it because I bought one of them when I was a kid and figured with all this free time on our hands that we'd have time to read. That I'd go out and read more. All right, red alert. You must not read this Star Challenge adventure in the ordinary human way. If you read the pages in order, the story will not compute. Instead, follow the directions on the bottom of each page. Everything will depend on the choices you make. Each choice can lead you to a different Star Challenge adventure. To help you along the way, you have a task operational robot, Model 2. Call him Tutor. He can do amazing things, from warping you through space faster than the speed of light, to talking with you through your mind. Each time you and Tutor complete a mission, warp to page 115 to find out how you rate as a space ace. To begin your adventure, go to page 1. That's pretty much what I said earlier. And here is kind of your boss in every adventure, kind of like you take orders from him and then you go out and try to win. All right, welcome aboard. The year is 2525 AD, an age when mankind is moving out among the stars. You've just come aboard the space station Nebula, home of the peacemaking and investigation branch of the Network of Worlds. From this man-made satellite, you, as a Nebula operative, will go out into the galaxy, taking care of trouble. The Nebula's teleportation system can send you anywhere in the galaxy instantly, or you can pilot your own spacecraft, the Challenger. If you need help at any time, feel remember to send to the Nebula for reinforcements. Remember, the success or failure of your mission, not to mention your own survival, will depend on your choices. Successful Nebula operatives are people who can make quick, thoughtful decisions. Hurry! Captain Polaris needs you. Go to page 2. And and the fact that the shuttle is named the Challenger. So this happened. This was published in 1984. So this was couple of years before the Challenger disaster, which people people that are old enough to remember was the first space shuttle to be lost. I think there were only two lost. I think there were two lost. So that was pretty sad disaster. Page 2. Come on, boss, Tutor says. You step onto the floating ramp that winds through the nebula. The computerized ramp identifies you. Then it moves you into nebula control. This is the nerve center of all nebula operations. Beings from 1,000 worlds monitor 1,000 vid screens. They keep watch for trouble throughout the network of worlds. I'm glad to see you, Captain Polaris exclaims. His chair hovers over the control room. There's trouble in Space Sector X7793A. No time to explain. You have to investigate. Get over to the warping bay. They'll brief you on your assignment. Captain Polaris taps the keyboard in his chair. Your destination is programmed into the nebula computers. The teleramp rolls you and Tutor toward the warping bay. As you move out of nebula control, the captain calls, "Good luck! You'll need it!" And then go to the warping bay on page 3. A small creature greets you at the warper room. Eyes rise on stalks from its tiny head. You recognize it as Dr. Zephyr from the planet Epsilon 12. Suns are disappearing, and Space Sector X7793A, Dr. Zephyr says. He hands you a biosupport suit. You must find out why. The suit molds itself into a perfect fit around your body. It will protect you in space, Dr. Zephyr tells you. It has defensive weapons. A cybernetic relay lets you talk to Tutor with your mind. Tutor is linked to nebula computers to access any information you need. He can warp you on command if you have enough power. That robot is your best friend out there. Dr. Zephyr asks, do you want to warp to Sector X7793A? Or would you rather fly the shuttlecraft Challenger? I'd suggest studying the problem, but I know you action types. Just make up your mind in a hurry. Nebula sensors show that another sun just blinked out. And so here was Dr. Captain Polaris. It's a picture of him, and then there's a picture of the Dr. Zephyr alien. All right, and so we can warp to Sector. So we can decide to warp directly to Sector X7793A. Return to page 49, or we can blast to the stars in the Challenger. So if anybody has any opinions on that. Yeah, Captain Polaris is always like in a big hurry. Like, we just got there, and he's like, alrighty, okay, there you go. On your way. I'm thinking of just taking the Challenger. Like, warping there is probably the faster way, but if we take the Challenger with us, we'd have more resources, I'd say. So that wouldn't be my decision, is to take the Challenger, but if anyone else has like a different opinion, that's fine. I was just adjusting the power cord on the phone. That's what that was. Do it. So I'm going to take the Challenger. Or warp? Think we should warp? That is faster. Probably warping would be faster than taking the shuttle. Yeah, we are the same person in every adventure. I think we're always the same character in every Star Challenge book. Alright, I guess we'll warp there. Warp. Warp us to the edge of Space Sector X7793A, Tutor, you say. I think we should study these vanishing stars before we warp all the way in. A microsecond passes. You and Tutor are no longer in the nebula. You have warped through space. Let's see a star map, Tutor, you say. The robot's vid screen lights up with a chart of the area. There's a pattern. The blanks left by the missing stars form a triangle of circles. It's an interplanetary SOS. Someone in Sector X7793A needs help, Tutor says. Why would a race so powerful that it can blot out stars need our help, you ask? It could be a trap. There's a trap. If you want to help whoever's sending the SOS, turn to page 31. If you suspect a trap, turn to page 88. So if we want to try to help whoever is sending that SOS, 31, or we can suspect a trap. So we can go to that sector, I guess. If it's a trap. Yeah, I kind of think it's a trap. Oh, well, but Tutor is saying that it's not a trap. He's saying that someone needs their help. And Tutor is, well, I don't know if it's a him. I guess it could be it. Tutor, it's saying that, yeah, that someone needs help. But maybe it is a trap. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go with this trap. Okay. I think that's the consensus here, is that it's a trap. Page 88. It's a trap. I think we're being led into a trap, Tor, you say. Abandon the mission. We need heavily armed help. A high-intensity light ray appears from the depths of space. It sweeps over you and Tutor. We're in the grip of gravity beam, you shout. I'd find out where we are going, boss, Tutor clicks. His blue lights flash. But I'm afraid to ask. If you choose to ride the beam, turn to page 25. If you decide to rush ahead of the beam, turn to page 76. And that's the heat, that the centralized air that just came on that you're hearing. All right. Yeah, I try to trust Tutor. So we just called him. We just called it Tor. I guess that's like, you know, his friends call it Tor. You know, but if it's like formal and everything, it's Tutor. So should we ride the beam? I don't think we should ride beams. I'm kind of scared of like beam riding. Sounds like something from Tron or something. Light cycles. But should we rush ahead of the beam? That seems kind of foolhardy. We don't necessarily need to rush everywhere. Oh, here's a picture of us like in space, and there's, I guess, like that's the beam, and there's us and Tutor. Go. All right, I guess we'll decide to rush ahead of the beam. See what happens. Tutorium. So should we ride the beam? I'm gonna ride the beam. Or not. No, I'll rush ahead of the beam. Why not? Someone wants to capture us, Tutor, you say. Can you trace that gravity beam? Sure thing, boss, Tutor replies. I've got a fix on it already. What should we do? Let's give them a surprise. Add our power to the beam. We'll get to our kidnappers sooner than expected. It might give us an edge. You land on a desert planet. Scaled, lizard-like aliens, bigger than you, are gathered around a humming device. It projects a hot light towards the stars. The lizard's hides are protected by armor that looks like it's made from protanium. Identification, Tutor says. The lizards are similar to the Saurons of the Dojan system. You realize that light isn't going to the stars. It's coming from the stars. Tutor, you whisper. That's what they're using to steal star power. You and Tutor land next to the stellar collector. The Saurons stare at you warily. They're preparing to attack. If you want to scare off the Saurons, turn to page 30. If you'd rather make peace, turn to page 69. I believe that Nebula's mission has always been one of peace. So should we try to make peace and go to page 69? Or try to scare them off? Yeah, I don't know if we'd really be able to scare off giant lizard-like aliens. Yeah, I think we should try to make peace. Unless anybody else thinks scare them. Alright, so we got 2 votes for peace. Oh, friendliness, yeah. I'm just feeling like that would... I mean, if making peace turns out to be the wrong choice, we can always go back. Start all the way at the beginning. Oh, now it's 2... well... Tutor, you say. Those Sauron scales are natural. It's not war gear. They may not be hostile after all. You raise your arms and press your fingers together over your head. You have made the interplanetary peace sign. The Sauron seem to relax. An ancient Sauron, with deep cracks in its hide, steps forward. It speaks in a language you don't understand. No sweat, boss, Tutor clicks. I can translate. Nanoseconds later, you hear the old Sauron say, "We need your help. We need your aid. Enemies have invaded our world. They are using our machines for evil. We were afraid you might be one of them, but you don't look like the creatures we captured." Look, Tutor says. An image appears on his vid screen. It is a stellar collector. Moments later, you see the stellar collector among the Sauron's machines. Go to page 40. I guess that's the interplanetary peace sign, is when you press your fingers together over your head. Well, that's what they did in Naruto or something, when they used their powers or whatever. Page 40. You point to the stellar collector and tell the aged Sauron, This machine threatens whole star systems. Only since the invaders came. Our stellar collector is out of control because of them. It never destroyed stars before. Our other machines are ruined too. But when we capture the invaders, they die before we can question them. Can I see an invader, you ask? The Saurons bring a force sphere. Look at this, Tutor, you order, peering at the tiny creatures inside. Space bugs, Tutor clicks. Metal eaters, common to many star systems. They mindlessly eat through machines, but toxins will keep them away. I use such toxins to protect myself. The old Sauron mutters, We thought they were an intelligent invasion force. We'll get some toxin to you. Then you can fix your stellar collector so that it won't destroy any more stars, you tell the Saurons. I hope I'll never hear about disappearing suns again. Yeah, Sauron. I'm not sure if that's like, I guess it's pronounced the same way. Saurons? Sauron, yeah, kind of sounds like he's the eye, was it eye littlest and inflamed? Alright, you've completed your mission. Report the nebula on page 115 and find out how you rate as a space ace. On page 115. 115. Alright, we made it, boss. Sorry. We made it, boss. Remember the page number you came from, and check the scores on the next page. So we came from page 40. Alright, if you warp in from page... No, it's not those, so we're not a space ace. It's not those. And then it's page 40. So page 40, you get 58,430 points. Not bad. Put in some training time on the Nebula computer. Yeah, so, got a bit over 58,000 points, but if we were a space ace, we would get over 8 million points. So, could definitely get more points, you know? Now, you don't really have to do any math, just, I guess you kind of have to do, to compare numbers and stuff. Try another adventure in Exploding Suns. To try another adventure in Exploding Suns, go to page 3. Or, to take on a completely new challenge, go to Star Challenge 5, the Galactic Raiders. Well, I don't have Galactic Raiders, so we can't go to that new one, and we're still doing this one, so... Go back to page 3. No, not that one. Oh, so it's going back to page 3. Alright, we don't have to start at the very beginning. That's cool. A small creature greets you at the Warper Room. Eyes rise on stalks from its tiny head. You recognize it as Dr. Zephyr from the planet Epsilon 12. Suns are disappearing in space sector X7793A, Dr. Ziffer says. He hands you a biosupport suit. You must find out why. The suit molds itself into a perfect fit around your body. It will protect you in space, Dr. Ziffer tells you. It has defensive weapons. A cybernetic relay lets you talk to Tutor with your mind. Tutor is linked to Nebula computers to access any information you need. He can warp you on command if you have enough power. That robot is your best friend out there. Dr. Ziffer asks, do you want to warp to Sector X7793A? Or would you rather fly the shuttlecraft Challenger? I suggest studying the problem, but I know you action types. You make up your mind in a hurry. Nebula sensors show that another sun just blinked out. Yeah, and zap is what happens if we get to an ending where we get killed, and so we don't get a score because you can't get a score. You can't report back to Nebula and get a score on your how well you did if you're dead. So yeah, so we flew last time. So and it's kind of funny, so it's pretty amazing that in the year 2525, someone could have a computer that could be linked to computers somewhere else and be able to retrieve whatever information they need. That's pretty amazing that in the year 2525 we'll have something like that. Really looking forward to that. Wow, we'll have to wait another 500 years, or over 500 years. Yeah, that shuttle, well, this was 1984, so, yeah, that was it's unfortunate that they named it after, the Challenger, and then, in 86 we had the Challenger disaster. Yeah, so we flew last time, so I'm thinking, well, maybe we'll warp there this time. Alright, if you want to warp to Sector X7793A, turn to page 49. Go to page 49. Alright. Warp us to the... Oh, wait. Didn't we do that before? I think we didn't take the Challenger last time. So, I think maybe we'll take the Challenger. Because it didn't do that last time. But it doesn't seem like people want to do the Challenger, which is understandable. Okay. Warp us to the edge of space sector X7793A, Tutor, you say. I think we should study these vanishing stars before we warp all the way in. A microsecond passes. You and Tutor are no longer in the nebula. You are warped through space. Let's see a star map, Tutor, you say. The robot's vid screen lights up with a chart of the area. There's a pattern. The blanks left by the missing stars form a triangle of circles. It's an interplanetary SOS. Someone in sector X7793 needs help, Tutor says. Why would a race so powerful that it can blot out stars need our help, you ask? It could be a trap. Alright, and, well, last time we thought it was a trap, and that ended up being okay, but maybe it was actually not a trap. So, I think this time we'll try page 31 and try to investigate the SOS. We have to help them, Tutor, you say. Warp us in. A nanosecond later, you are at the edge of an asteroid belt in space sector X7793A. Starfighters suddenly surround you and fire their pulsars. Your shields ward off the blasts, but only for the moment. Is there enough power for another warp jump, Tutor, you ask? Negative, Tutor answers. Power level is insufficient for 14.3 minutes. We can't ward off the pulsars forever. Can we stop all these starfighters by ourselves? Highly improbable, the robot replies. There is an asteroid belt nearby. Let's take cover there. That won't stop the starfighters for long, you say. And here we are getting hit by the starfighters. I guess checking out the SOS was a bad idea, but maybe these are the enemies of the people that send the SOS, possibly. So, if you want to take cover in the asteroids, turn to page 28. If you want to stay and take on the starfighters, turn to page 89. Help. So, pretty much Tutor is always right about stuff, and they are linked to the Nebula computers. So, I would take Tutor's suggestion. I mean, that's just me, but I think Tutor is usually right. because they have access to all the databases back at the mission control. But I don't know if anybody else has any different ideas about whether we should take cover in the asteroids like Tutor says or not. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Top speed, Tutor, you shout. Pulsar blasts flash around you. The two of you duck into the asteroid belt, narrowly evading the lasers, the blasts. The force of the pulsars heats the rocky asteroid surfaces to black glass. Access the nebula and get us some help. Quick. But Tutor replies, no good. The starfighters are blocking communications. I can't get data access or warping coordinates. A nearby asteroid explodes into powder. We're running out of time, you shout. Maybe we should counterattack. They wouldn't be expecting it. I wouldn't expect it either, Tutor bleeps. Boss, they outnumber us. Draining your bio-support suit's energies to battle the starfighters could burn it out. You can't risk it. Tutor, we could try to escape, but if that failed... If you think you should counterattack, turn to page 34. If you want to attempt an escape, turn to page 87. Yeah, Tutor is Tutor. So try to. And Tutor always like errs on the side of caution. You know, like go do whatever's like the safest thing. Yeah, he's there to protect you, or it's there to protect you. Say we should try to escape. Oh no. So we're thinking of counterattacking, but Tutor's like we should just try to escape. So I'm not. This is a tough one. Peace has failed. Time to kill. I guess we could do that. I mean, it's possible it might end up okay. I mean, Tutor's not always right. Scaredy Tor. Yeah. I mean, he is like a little robot, you know. So, I guess it. Gosh, I guess. Yeah, so we got a counterattack. All right, let's do it. Uh-oh. We're fighting back, you say. Tutor squeals and hides behind you. The starfighters close in. A jet of light erupts from your auto-defense system, striking the nearest starfighter. The hawk-headed pilot writhes and bails out of the damaged ship. Come on, Tutor, you say. We're taking over that starfighter. It'll give us the power to fight the others. Pulsars slice the space around you as you hurl yourself in the abandoned starfighter. But your action was predictable. The others turn on the ship. They blast it and you out of existence. Zap. And there we are. Just before we got zapped, I guess. Because that's Tutor hiding behind us. If you can't tell. Alright, so that... Yeah, so, yeah, so now you know what the zap's all about, Don. So, that was the zap. Oh, this robot can squeal, Valerie. Alright, I guess, we'll try to escape, right? Let's just pretend that we didn't try to counterattack, and we'll just try to escape. Yeah, that was great. We got zapped. Alright, if you want to attempt an escape, turn to page 87. 87. Alright. Wait, that's not 87. If you want to attempt an escape, turn to page 87. Okay. That's wrong. That is not right. Hold on. Alright. That is a mistake for sure. So it says, if you want to attempt an escape, turn to page 87, right? So everybody can see that? 87. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to attempt an escape. So I'm going to page 87. Oh. And then we go to page 87, it has like nothing to do with attempting an escape over like suddenly on a different ship and saying that our shuttlecraft was shot down, and we don't even have a shuttlecraft this time. So, all right. Well, it told us to go to page 87, so that's where we are. Doesn't make sense. Maybe it is. No. It wasn't 87 either. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was 77? 67? Ah, there it is. There it is. So yeah, it was actually page 67. Wow, that was like, that's crazy that they had like an error. That's like the first time I've read one of these books and there was a mistake. Yeah, because it said it has the number 87 here, right? And they go 87 doesn't make any sense. And then if I check 67, then they like logically make sense that this is what happens after we decide to escape. Okay, so all right, so here we are. Here's page 66. All right, well, there's the art showing us trying to get away from all these spaceships. All right. There are too many starfighters, Tutor, you say. If we can get away from here, we can contact the Nebula for help. But starfighters already swarm around you. Your blood curdles when you see the grinning, hawk-beaked faces of your enemies. Incoming message, Tutor beeps. It's one of the starfighter pilots. You can't escape, the pilot says. When will we move in for the kill? When will we tire of toying with you? It laughs. The laughter is cut off as a light blast rips through the starfighter formation. Someone's helping us, Tutor, you say. The communications from the starfighters have stopped. We're saved. Boss, Tutor replies. His blue lights flash a warning. I don't think we're out of trouble yet. A fleet of star cruisers from deep space are rounding up the disabled starfighters. I don't know if they're friend or foe, you say, but I think we're going to find out. Yeah, I didn't see the space worm, Don, but maybe it was on one of these pages. Oh, this thing maybe. Yeah. Well, there's also this space worm on the cover too, so I guess kind of spoilers there. I guess that's an exploding sun behind it maybe, and there's a blue space worm. All right, so yeah, I don't know if they're friend or foe, you say, but I think we're going to find out. Page 81. All right. One of the star cruisers hovers next to you and Tutor. An airlock opens. Should we go in? Tutor asks. I can't think of a better way to find out what's going on, Tor. But keep your defenses up, just in case. You enter the star cruiser, warily. You are met by a black, feathered alien. I sense you are puzzled, it says. Fear not. We are friendly. My name is Greep Dunzag. Was your race responsible for the vanishing stars? Or did the Hawkheads cause that, you ask, fingering your micropulsar? Greep Dunzag laughs. My people warped the starlight. It only looks as if the stars are gone. The hawk-headed aliens had threatened to destroy us. We hoped a fleet would come to our aid. When you arrived alone, we thought all was lost. But then the Hawkheads attacked you, and it gave us the chance to counterattack them. Thank you for your help. The stars begin to reappear. Tutor's yellow lights glow. You have completed your mission. Report to the Nebula on page 115 to find out how you rate as a space ace. And here's your friendly alien dude that you just met. And then I think at the bottom there on the right is supposed to be Tutor. You can like barely see the top of its head. All right, well that wasn't bad. Fingering your micropulsar. Yeah, I think the last Star Challenge book I read, it had that phrase in there too about fingering your micropulsar. So, yeah, not gonna say anything more about that. This is a children's book. All right, it's for what is the age here? Does it say? I know. Okay, we're not gonna. It's got like a horse on the cover, like the yearling and everything. It's just. I don't think we're a space ace, no. So go to page 115 to find out how you rate as a space ace. I mean, it's not bad, but you never know. Like sometimes I think like I got a really good ending, and then I go to find out the score, and it's like not as good as I thought it was. All right, 115. We made it, boss. Remember the page number you came from, and check the scores on the next page. Alright, so checking the scores. So it came from page 81. So 81. No, it's not. We're not a space ace. Oh. Whoa. What the heck? If you warped in from page 81, you get 953 points. Go back to the Space Academy. See, that doesn't make any sense. I didn't think I did that badly. I mean, we found out what was going on with the stars. Like, I don't understand how that's so bad. That's like the worst score you can get. Alright. Well, let's try it again. Alright. A small creature greets you at the Warper Room. Eyes rise on stalks from its tiny head. You recognize it as Dr. Ziffer from the planet Epsilon 12. Suns are disappearing in Space Sector X7793A, Dr. Ziffer says. He hands you a biosupport suit. You must find out why. The suit molds itself into a perfect fit around your body. It will protect you in space, Dr. Ziffer tells you. It has defensive weapons. A cybernetic relay lets you talk to Tutor with your mind, and so on. I already read through this before, but I'm just like trying to pretend that we're reading through it again and starting at the beginning. So, it can warp you on command if you have enough power. That robot is your best friend out there. And then Dr. Ziffer asks if you want to take a shuttlecraft, take the shuttlecraft Challenger, or if we want to warp to Sector X7793A. I think we'll try the Challenger this time, just because I haven't tried it before. And these people actually listen to their scientists and engineers before they fly the Challenger, just to make sure it's safe and it's not too cold out. Make sure the O-rings are safe. So, in the future, that's what they do anyways. I'll take the Challenger, Doc, you tell Dr. Ziffer. You hop into the ramp that takes you to the shuttlecraft bay. Microseconds later, why is it always microseconds? Like, I mean, it could also be microseconds and seconds. Just obviously it would be more in microseconds, it would be a higher number than in seconds, but it'd be the same amount of time. So, but okay. Microseconds later, you are in the Challenger. The controls hum under your fingers as you glide through hyperspace. Why so quiet, Tutor, you say? The Challenger has emerged from hyperspace in Sector X7793A. This will be an easy mission. There is an 87% probability of great difficulty, Tutor clicks. You laugh. Then you see a star half a light year away. The star has a huge hole bored right through the core. Unidentified starship is leaving this sector, boss, Tutor informs you. I recommend calling the Nebula for mission aid. Oh, we have 3 options here. If you want to enter the Chord star, turn to page 53. If you decide to investigate the starship, turn to page 16. If you decide to contact the Nebula for a backup, turn to page 105. This is the first time I've seen 3 options on one page. Or 3 choices. I don't know what people would, if people have any opinion one way or another. I think when we contact the Nebula for a backup, we don't get as good a score. Like when we contact the Nebula for backup. Yeah, so enter the Chord star. No backup? Yeah, nah. We're on our own here. We shouldn't be calling the Nebula for backup every chance we get. Yeah, I feel like that might not be actually like... Normally I wouldn't go into a star, but like there might be more to this star than there first appears. Alright. Whoop. What's inside that star hole, Tor, you ask? What's inside that star hole, Tor, you ask? Let's blast in. You throw on the Challenger's hyperdrive and soar towards the hole. But the shuttlecraft suddenly stops. Though its engines hum and strain, it is stuck in space. Stasis web, boss. Tutor's red warning lights flash. Someone doesn't want us in that star hole. Why not, you wonder? Your answer crawls out of the star hole. It has thousands of fiery legs and no head. That thing looks like a giant worm, you mumble. No worm ever ate through a sun, Tutor beeps. We have to get some help. We're sitting Corvers here. I'm not sure what a Corver is, but okay. So here we are. Our spaceship is stuck. Stuck in the web. Stasis web. We have to go to page 22. Star hole. Well, I don't think I'm done saying star hole. So I won't say star hole ever again. True. Yeah, well, you know, We didn't know there was anybody using the star hole, so. Alright, page 22. Transmit a message to the Nebula, Tutor, you say. We need help against this monster. The sunworm crawls nearer to the shuttlecraft. There is no reply from the Nebula. You switch on the Challenger's propulsion drive, but you can't break free of the stasis web. A Nebula Stellar attack team appears nearby. It's armed with high-powered pulsar cannons and Negatron missiles. There's a transmission coming from them, Tutor says. They'll say they'll handle the situation. They want us to move out of the way. We can't, you say. We're stuck here. The Stellar attack team has to give up the fight, or blast through you to get to the sunworm. If you tell the attack team to go ahead despite you, turn to page 47. If you ask them to wait for you to get to safety, turn to page 85. Okay, I think kind of the valiant and noble and courageous thing to do would be to just have them attack. You know, and probably get a better score, or, you know, get zapped. Ask them to wait. Well, we could ask them to wait. Let's see if there's anybody else has any other ideas whether we should wait or not. Be valiant. Wait, be valiant. Be eaten by a space worm. Maybe we should go back to the star hole. Any other? I'm gonna ask them to go ahead. Probably get killed, but might get an awesome score. I just want to be a space ace. That's it, Tutor. Tell the attack team to blast through us if they have to, you say. Do I have to, boss? Tutor bleeps. But he transmits your message. Nanoseconds later, a Negatron missile rockets by. You're rocked off your feet as the missile explodes harmlessly against the sunworm. The Challenger spins through space, blown free of the stasis web. A sharp pain jabs your brain. You try to drown out an alien sound. It is the scream of the sunworm. That sunworm is intelligent, you say. Or, I think it's intelligent. I mean, I don't know what I mean. It's just a feeling. Maybe we shouldn't let the attack team hit it again. Illogical, boss, Tutor says. You don't have evidence that it's intelligent, but there's plenty of evidence that it's dangerous. And even if it is intelligent, what if it's an evil intelligence? Can we take that chance? I don't know, Tor, you reply. And here we are in the shuttle, and we're like spinning off into space, but we're free of the star web. If you decide to help the attack team fight the sunworm, turn to page 62. If you think you should save the sunworm, turn to page 114. Do it. Do it, Anakin. Do it. Do it. Alright. That's not the Jedi way. Okay. Sorry. Save it? Yeah, I kind of want to save it. Save the sunworm. I just feel really bad if the sunworm turned out to be, like, nice and we helped kill it. So turn to page 114 to try to save the sunworm. Whoa. I know that creature is an intelligent being, you tell Tutor. We can't take the chance of destroying it. We have to stop the attack team. We have to prove the sunworm thinks. There are signs of intelligence, boss, Tutor beeps. Nothing I'd call conclusive. You know the Nebula regulations, Tor. If there's even a question, we should preserve intelligent life. You zip the Challenger between the squad and the sunworm. A message crackles across your communicator. I don't care what your status on the Nebula is, the attack team leader says. Get that shuttlecraft out of the way, or we'll blow you to Ansale C. You're protecting a threat to the network of worlds. If you face off against the attack team, turn to page 18. If you try to prove the sunworm is intelligent, turn to page 92. Yeah, you know the sunworm's good people. They just like star holes, that's all. Nothing wrong with that. So, what do people think we should... I don't think we should face off against the attack team. I think, yeah, I should prove that they're intelligent. I mean, we tried to face off against overwhelming odds before and got zapped, so yeah. Star holes are fine. Hold your fire, you frantically transmit to the stellar attack team. I suspect the sunworm is intelligent. I want a chance to communicate with it. If we take any time, no one will have a chance, the team leader replies. That monster is a threat to the whole galaxy. Now, get out of our way. If you don't, we'll have to destroy you with the sunworm. Turn to page 91. Before the attack team can open fire, a gigantic alien spaceship appears. Why have you invaded our project? Booms a voice that can be heard even through the vacuum of space. We chose this sector because it was uninhabited. There is no danger. Our creation has absorbed enough energy for its final transformation. Look, beings from the network of worlds, and see wonder in the making. You stare in amazement as the sunworm returns to the star hole. In a blinding flash of light, the worm and the sun become a single solar ball. It explodes across the sky like a living rainbow. Space itself swirls around the creature. The sunworm leaps from the solar ball and shoots off into the galaxy. Beautiful, boss, Tutor says. We just saw the birth of a living comet. I wonder how those aliens in the spaceship did it, you say. You look around. The spaceship has vanished. The aliens and the sunworm are gone, taking their mysteries with them. Living rainbow, what does it mean? Tell you what it means. Okay. All right, so you've completed your mission. Report to the nebula on page 115 to find out how you rate as a space ace. I think we'll get the space ace this time. All right, we made it, boss. Remember the page number you came from and check the scores on the next page. So we came from page 91. Still not a space ace. 91. You're assigned to asteroid patrol until further notice. Man. That's still a pretty low score. 1,929 points. Probably because we went against orders and all that stuff and endangered people. You know. But I mean, it turned out okay. No, we're still not a space ace. Alright, let me see. I'm going to just skip. I want to try to get a space ace, you know? I want to warp. Alright, so we warped a sector. So we're starting a mission. We're going to warp to sector 49. Warp us to the edge of space sector X7793A, Tutor, you say. I think we should study these vanishing stars before we warp all the way in. A microsecond passes. You and Tutor are no longer in the nebula. You have warped through space. Let's see a star map, Tutor, you say. The robot's vid screen lights up with a chart of the area. There's a pattern. The blanks left by the missing stars form a triangle of circles. It's an interplanetary SOS. Someone in sector X7793A needs help, Tutor says. Why would a race so powerful that it can blot out stars need our help, you ask? It could be a trap. Alright, so, yeah, you know, you're kind of like in the military, so if you're trying to protect living things and endangering some starships or something, then I guess they see that as being bad. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that was the best ending, yeah. So I often don't agree with the scores that we get in this book. You know, maybe that's why it only lasted 10 books in this series. But it's not a lot of good things going for it. I do like the stories overall. And the writing's good. Alright, so, yes, I'm going to suspect a trap. Page 88. I think we're being led into a trap, Tor, you say. Abandon the mission. We need heavily armed help. High-intensity light ray appears from the depths of space. It sweeps over you and Tutor. We're in the grip of gravity beam, you shout. I found out where we're going, boss, Tutor clicks. His blue lights flash, but I'm afraid to ask. All right, and Sam will ride the beam. Like, I know that we didn't choose to ride the beam last time, but maybe, who knows, maybe riding the beam is the way to go. You decide to let the gravity beam take you to its source. Microseconds later, you are pulled into a gigantic planet. Like the nebula, everything on this world lives inside it, but a tiny sun lights the planet's core. You've never seen anything like it. When the gravity beam is cut off, you fall up and land. Crude jewel paws grab you from the glowing rocks you have fallen on. You're in the grip of giant hulking creatures made of crystal. You hit one, hoping it will break, but the creature is as hard as diamond. What are these things? You ask Tutor. Tutor clicks and whistles. Insufficient data, boss. Sorry. Their blank expressions tell you the crystal apes are not intelligent, but instead of killing you, they carry you and Tutor off. Put the beam into a star hole. Maybe we will. Maybe that happens later. Alright. Riding the beam. The crystal apes glint in the green light at the world's core. They drag you to a platform carved from stone. They drop you and Tutor there, then dance around the platform. Their crystal bodies chime as they dance. The sun inside the planet pulses in rhythm with their chiming. Scan that sun, Tutor, you say. I'm way ahead of you, boss, the robot bleeps. That's no sun at all. It's a matter teleportation unit, like a warper. Then why is it grabbing us, you ask? A gravity beam clutches you, but you and Tutor rise above the sun. My biosupport suit won't respond, Tor. Can you warp us out of here? But Tutor's reply is broken by static. I am experiencing electromagnetic interference. Warper inactive. Difficult to communicate. Tutor? Tutor! We've got to do something. If you decide to fire your pulsar at the sun, turn to page 12. If you decide to wait and see what's going on, turn to page 68. I'm thinking that firing the pulsar at the sun would be a really bad idea. I feel like it might set off some kind of chain reaction or something. So So that would not be my first choice. Get a star hole. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any star hole in this one. So, all right. Yeah, wait. Yeah, let's wait. We should wait. All right. Your head buzzes. We're on some sort of spaceship, Tutor, you say, but everything around you is 1,000 times bigger than normal. Tutor hums back to life next to you. Sensors indicate this is the nebula, Tutor bleeps. What happened, you ask? How did the ship get so large? It didn't, the robot answers. We became tiny, approximately the size of a Neptunian moonfly. Our circuitry is supercharged too. Supercharged? You stop speaking. A hairy humanoid with wide, pointed ears enters the chamber. That's Lo, the ambassador from the planet Shiva. What's he up to? Oh, sorry. That's Io. Sorry. That's Io, the ambassador from the planet Shiva. What's he up to? Io speaks to a robot that hovers next to him. How much stellar energy has been transmitted to me, it asks. But the robot replies, Alert, alert, unauthorized intruders. Shocked, Io looks around and sees you. With a sneer, it reaches for you. If you try to warn Captain Polaris about the traitor, turn to page 74. If you try to stop Io, turn to page 42. Sam says Space Aces shoot stuff. They kind of do. Like, they don't keep asking for backup and, like, trying to warn people. They just, like, take care of things, you know, until they get zapped. So, I think we should try to stop them. Yeah. I think we try to warn Captain Polaris. I think, it might be too late. Might get killed while we're trying to warn him or something. I don't know. It seems to be the way this book, seems to be the way that this book works usually. But anybody else think we should try to stop him? I'm thinking we should. All right, I'm gonna try to stop him. Ooh. Io of Shiva grabs at you with its giant hairy hand. Blast it, you tell Tutor. A pulsar blast from your biosupport suit smashes into Io. It falls back, but it isn't hurt. Io reaches for a black box made of a metal you've never seen before. You can't stop me, Io says. The soul and power of 1,000 suns is mine. It's all concentrated in this box. If the nebula doesn't surrender to me, I'll destroy it. You're so small. You must have traveled through my energy collecting system. It compressed you too, but you know too much. Warp on my command, you thoughtcast to Tutor. Our power is too low, Tutor replies. Io has a warper. Trigger it. If Io gets dragged with us, too bad. I'll squash you like a bug, Io gloats. It raises its hairy hand to swat you. Nebula guards blast into the room. Io screams, What are you doing here? Tutor accessed the nebula's intercom when we got here, you say. Everyone on board heard everything you said, Io. I'll still win, Io shouts. It grabs for the energy box, but you and Tutor jump for it too. All of you reach it at the same time. Go to page 43. Warp us out as far away from any planet or star as possible, Tutor, you shout. You vanish with the box. A micro moment later, you, Tutor, and Io are in the empty space. Io is startled by the sudden shift. The box falls from its hands. It flies open. Energy inside sweeps over you. You don't die. Your mind, Io's, and Tutor's merge with the energy to form a new supersun. You no longer remember who you were, or that you were ever human. As part of a star, you will watch the universe go by forever. Zap! Wow. That's kind of cool that we became part of a supersun. Although I don't think any sun in the universe is going to last forever, so technically that's like, actually, we're not going to be watching the universe go by forever if we're no longer a star, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of cool, yeah. Actually, the larger a star is, I think the shorter its lifespan is. Smaller suns tend to live longer, or exist longer, or wherever suns do. Yeah, so let's just pretend that we tried to warn Captain Polaris about the traitor, about Io, rather than trying to stop him. Yeah, it shouldn't be Zap. It should be like, you saved everybody. They gave you like an honorary medal, that was given to your family, and so you got like a high score. Like they decreed that you were a space ace, or would have been a space ace if you had lived. Whatever. All right, so let's say we tried to warn Captain Polaris about the traitor. Page 74. Io's outstretched hand is closing around you. You shout, Tutor, we have to warn the captain. Propulsion, now. Both of you dart away from Io's grip. The alien chases you around the chamber, but he can't grab you. You blundering fool! You and Io turn to face a hulking, four-armed alien, Hosh, the nebula's chief engineer. No, it wasn't my fault, Io whimpers. Hosh silences it with a blast from her micropulsar. It's so hard to get decent help these days, Hosh says. She stares at you. Then she picks up a metal plate in each hand. I see you have been caught in one of my energy concentrators. The effects aren't permanent. You'll be full size in an hour. She hefts all 4 plates above her head. But you'll be flatter than a bug by then. Uh-oh. Here we are there. Well, that's not us, but I think that's Io. Turn to page 78. Ah, so it looks like Hosh isn't our friend either. Okay. 78. Hosh gloats. My agents are stealing energy from the stars. Soon we'll have enough power to take over the network of worlds. My starfighters will draw off the nebula fleet, and I'll destroy the nebula. Before she can strike, you discharge all your energy through your micropulsar at her. Hosh topples. Her dreams of conquest fall with her. I want to get a confession, Tor. You tap your suit's built-in recorder. It was the only real proof I could get against Hosh. Now we can undo her plotting. She'll go to her prison asteroid for good. And here you are. You're discharging all your energy through your micropulsar. So that's what that looks like. And there's Hosh, I guess. She has 4 arms. So, all right, that's pretty good, right? That seems like a pretty good ending. We saved the nebula. We like beat 2 like bad people, 2 traitors. I mean, yeah. So we got to be a space ace this time, right? Come on. You've completed your mission. Report the nebula on page 115 to find out how you rate as a space ace. Space ace. What page are we coming from? 78. 78. We made it, boss. Remember the page number you came from, and check the scores on the next page. Ho ho ho! 78. Guess what? If you worked in from page 78, you get 8,775,504 points. Congratulations, you're a space ace. We did it. That Hosh existed. Yep. We brought her down. Alright. I guess that's his best ending because we were like brave and valiant. And we like saved everybody. We saved the nebula. That's all that matters is like saving your command center, and then like rescuing everybody at the command center, and all that stuff. But saving a space snake and a star hole, that's just okay. You be on asteroid patrol. But yeah, no, I think that's very good timing because it's like right at 9 o'clock now, and I try to stick to like 1 hour. And I was really trying to get like a space ace, or as close as I could get to space ace, or this one here where Captain Polaris needs a second command. He'll know where to look. That's a good one too. So yeah, we got the best score we possibly could get in this one, and I'm very happy with that. It was like perfect timing. Yeah, so I really like these. I do have one other book in this series, which I'll read at some point, and I'll probably pick up some others at some point. Probably next week I'll go back to a Choose Your Own Adventure again. But yeah, no, I really like these books. And I really like this series. And I remember like, it's funny, like I remember actually getting one of these Star Challenge books. It was probably around 1984. It was a bookstore in Massachusetts, in Waltham, Massachusetts, and the bookstore is like, well, it's not there anymore. It's long gone. But I still like remember exactly like what the address was where I got the book. Yeah, like as a kid, I really loved reading these books and reading like Choose Your Own Adventure type books. So yeah, I figured with all this extra free time, go back and kind of revisit my childhood and stuff. Read these books again. This is like obviously before the internet and before like everyone had a computer and had a phone and all that stuff. So for excitement and adventure and interactive stories, we read books back then. So yeah, fun times. Thanks, Beth. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yay, Bob Joe, we did it. Don, yep, no, you're welcome. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. So I'll be back next Tuesday. I'll try to announce like what Choose Your Own Adventure I'm going to read maybe a few days before I do it. Yeah, it is like a video game. Yeah. So I like doing a cactus salad. Yeah. There was one time years ago that we went to a restaurant and had cactus salad. Valerie and me and Bobby Joe, and I had a cactus salad, and it was pretty gross. So probably canned cactus. Anyways, all right. I'm going to take off. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Take care.